Did you know that reheating certain foods could quietly increase your risk of developing pancreatic cancer? It might seem surprising, but health experts have been cautioning about this for years. While reheating leftovers often feels like a safe, even practical habit, the reality is that some foods can become harmful once warmed a second time. These reheated items can produce toxins, not just ones that cause mild discomfort, but ones that specifically affect your pancreas, the crucial organ responsible for managing sugar and fat in your body. When the pancreas is repeatedly irritated or damaged, the long-term effects can be extremely serious, even life-threatening. This video is for you if you've ever saved yesterday's meal thinking you were doing the right thing, only to discover that it might actually be hurting you. We're going to look at 4 specific foods that, according to doctors and health experts, should never be reheated. Why? Because when they're exposed to heat a second time, they can release dangerous compounds linked to cancer, especially in the pancreas. That means the risks go far beyond a funny taste or texture. They go straight to your long-term health. Stick around until the end, because the final food on this list is something almost everyone reheats, and it's the most dangerous of them all. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Reheated vegetable oils and fried foods. If you enjoy fried foods like leftover French fries, battered fish, or crispy onion rings, you're not alone. These comfort foods have been part of American kitchens for generations. But what many people don't realize is that reheating them, especially in the same oil or in a microwave, can quietly increase your risk of serious health issues, including pancreatic cancer. The danger lies in the oils used to fry these foods. Most restaurants and even home cooks use vegetable oils like canola, soybean, or corn oil. While they might seem healthy because they're plant-based, these oils are unstable under high heat. When you reheat foods cooked in them, those oils begin to break down, producing harmful compounds known as aldehydes. Aldehydes are highly reactive and toxic. When consumed repeatedly, they create oxidative stress in the body, damaging healthy cells and promoting inflammation. And the pancreas, which is deeply involved in regulating digestion and blood sugar, is especially vulnerable to this kind of repeated stress. Over time, the inflammation caused by aldehydes can interfere with the pancreas's function and increase the risk of developing cancer. I remember speaking to a woman named Teresa, 68, who used to reheat fried food several times a week. She'd make extra at dinner and save the leftovers for lunch the next day, but she started having digestive troubles, bloating, stomach cramps, and eventually pre-diabetic blood sugar levels. Her doctor advised cutting out reheated fried foods and switching to fresh, simple meals. Within weeks, her symptoms eased, and she said, "I didn't realize how heavy those leftovers were making me feel." So, what can you do instead? If you enjoy crispy foods, try baking them fresh in the oven with olive oil or avocado oil, which are more heat-stable. And if you do eat fried foods, eat them hot and fresh. Never reheat it. It's a small shift, but one that could protect your pancreas from the hidden damage caused by repeated exposure to toxic compounds. Number 2. Reheated processed meats. One of the most dangerous foods to reheat, yet one of the most commonly overlooked, is processed meat. We're talking about bacon, sausages, ham, deli slices, hot dogs, and even that leftover meatloaf made with cured meats. These foods already contain high levels of sodium, preservatives, and chemical additives like nitrates. But when you reheat them, especially in a microwave or skillet, those compounds can break down into something much worse. Nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are chemical compounds that have been directly linked to cancer in several parts of the body, including the pancreas. They form when nitrites in meat are exposed to high heat, like the kind used during reheating. And once they form, they don't just disappear when the food cools down. They enter your digestive system, where they can irritate and inflame the tissues, particularly in the pancreas, which is sensitive to both chemical stress and fat metabolism. What makes this especially dangerous, though, is how often processed meats are eaten as leftovers. Breakfast sausage, for example, is often reheated the next morning. Leftover ham from a family dinner is used in sandwiches the next day. It's convenient. It feels like you're making the most of your food. But over time, repeated exposure to these reheated compounds can silently increase your risk of cancer. A man I knew named Paul, 72, used to reheat slices of bacon in the microwave every morning. He figured he was being smart, making breakfast fast and avoiding waste. But over time, he developed digestive discomfort and eventually faced a diagnosis he never saw coming: pancreatic inflammation that doctors suspected was diet-related. When he changed his routine and began using fresh ingredients instead of leftovers, he said he felt lighter and his blood work slowly began to improve. Processed meats aren't just a risk when reheated. They're already on the list of cancer-linked foods, but reheating them adds another layer of danger that many people simply don't know about. If you've been doing this for years, it's not too late to stop. Consider switching to fresh alternatives like eggs, beans, or even fresh cooked, lean meats that don't rely on preservatives. And if you do use processed meats occasionally, eat them fresh, not reheated. Your pancreas may not send warning signals right away, but that doesn't mean it isn't effective. Choosing to avoid reheated processed meats is a simple, powerful step toward protecting one of the most essential organs in your body. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. Yes, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3. Reheated rice dishes. Rice may seem harmless, simple, filling, and easy to reheat, but it's one of the sneakiest foods when it comes to hidden health risks. Many folks, especially older adults cooking for 1 or 2, make a pot of rice and stretch it across several meals. It's budget-friendly and practical, but when rice is left sitting at room temperature too long or is improperly stored and then reheated, it can turn into a silent threat to your pancreas. You see, cooked rice can harbor a spore-forming bacterium called Bacillus cereus. These spores survive the initial cooking process and begin to multiply rapidly if the rice is left out too long. When the rice is later reheated, the heat might kill the bacteria, but it doesn't destroy the toxins the bacteria already produce. These toxins can cause food poisoning symptoms like vomiting or diarrhea. But the danger goes deeper. Repeated exposure to these bacterial toxins puts stress on your digestive system, especially the pancreas, which works to neutralize toxins and assist in digestion. Over time, this burden can lead to chronic inflammation, a condition that has been linked to pancreatic damage and an increased risk of cancer. What's more, people who frequently consume reheated rice dishes may also be combining them with leftover meats or sauces, multiplying the number of harmful compounds their bodies must process. I once knew a widower named Harold, 74, who loved making fried rice. He'd make a big batch with eggs, soy sauce and vegetables, then keep it in the fridge for days, reheating small portions when he got hungry. He started having frequent digestive discomfort. His doctor couldn't figure it out until Harold mentioned his leftover habit. Once he switched to cooking fresh, smaller portions, his symptoms started to ease. And it's not just about food poisoning or tummy trouble. These seemingly small choices add up. The pancreas is a sensitive organ that doesn't regenerate easily. If it's under constant low-grade stress, whether from toxins, inflammation, or poor dietary habits, it can wear down and become more vulnerable to serious conditions like cancer. So, if you love rice, enjoy it fresh. Cool any leftovers quickly. Refrigerate them immediately. And never reheat more than once. Better yet, cook smaller portions so you don't have to worry about leftovers at all. A little extra care in your kitchen routine could go a long way toward protecting your long-term health. Number 4. Reheated chicken. Chicken is a staple in many American homes, affordable, high in protein, and easy to prepare. But when it comes to reheating, it's also one of the riskiest meats to toss back in the microwave or skillet, especially if you're trying to protect your pancreas. The way chicken reacts to reheating can do more harm than most people realize. Here's the issue. Chicken is rich in proteins, and when those proteins are reheated at high temperatures, especially unevenly as in a microwave, they can break down and change structure. This altered protein structure becomes difficult for your body to digest, placing a strain on your digestive system, particularly your pancreas, which is responsible for releasing the enzymes that break down proteins. When your pancreas is pushed to work harder than necessary on a regular basis, it can become inflamed, and long-term inflammation of the pancreas is one of the major risk factors for pancreatic cancer. And it's not just about protein. Reheating chicken often involves adding sauces, gravies, or oils, many of which break down into harmful compounds when exposed to high heat a second time. For example, repeatedly heated fats can create substances known as aldehydes, which are toxic to the body and have been linked to cancer development. When these are combined with improperly reheated protein, it's a double hit to your digestive organ. Let me tell you about a woman named Margaret, 78, who lived alone and used to cook a large chicken breast on Sunday to stretch through the week. She'd slice off a portion every day, reheat it in the microwave, and pour in a bit of gravy to keep it moist. Over time, she noticed bloating, indigestion, and a nagging pain after meals. Her doctor suggested changing how she prepared and consumed meals. Once she stopped reheating her chicken and began cooking smaller, fresh servings instead, her symptoms gradually disappeared. It's important to remember that your pancreas isn't a machine. It's a delicate organ. When it's asked to process degraded proteins or harmful fats again and again, it starts to wear down, and the pancreas doesn't give loud warning signs. It suffers in silence, and by the time problems show up, it's often too late. If you rely on leftover chicken often, consider switching your routine. Cook smaller portions. Store cooked chicken no more than a couple of days, and if you must reheat it, do so gently and thoroughly. Ideally on the stove, not in the microwave, and avoid adding sauces that have already been cooked once. These little changes might seem small, but they can have a lasting impact on your health. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any video. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. You know, when we were younger, we didn't think twice about reheating food. It was convenient, fast, and seemed harmless. But as we age, our bodies change. What used to be easy to digest and process now takes a bigger toll. And our pancreas, that small but powerful organ, is quietly working overtime behind the scenes. It doesn't complain out loud, but when it starts to struggle, it lets us know in ways we can't ignore. Fatigue, bloating, blood sugar swings, and worse. The truth is, some habits we've picked up over the years might be doing more harm than good. Reheating rice, potatoes, spinach, vegetable oils, and processed meats might seem minor in the moment, but over time, these habits can add up and hurt one of the most important organs in our body. The key isn't to live in fear of every bite, but to become more mindful, more respectful of what our bodies need now, not what they could handle decades ago. I know change can be uncomfortable. It takes effort to learn new ways to prepare food, to choose fresher ingredients, to read labels more closely, but you're not doing it just for a short-term benefit. You're doing it for your long-term vitality, for the energy to enjoy your grandchildren, for the clarity to keep up with your hobbies, for the strength to stay independent as long as possible. And don't worry, you don't have to do it all at once. Start with one change. Maybe stop reheating processed meats, or switch to fresh oils. Each step is a victory. Each decision is an act of self-care. You deserve to feel strong, energized, and well. And by being here, watching this video, you've already taken the most important first step: awareness. You have the power to protect your pancreas and your overall health. Every meal is a chance to make a better choice, one that supports your long-term well-being. So keep going, stay curious, and remember, you're never alone on this path. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know one thing you learned and how you'll apply it moving forward. Your insights mean a lot to us, and your feedback truly keeps us inspired and motivated. If this video helped you or opened your eyes to something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it too. Your support allows us to continue creating content that informs, uplifts, and empowers. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.